My college best friend pretended to support me for years, while secretly tearing my life apart from the inside. Sabotage, gaslighting, and betrayal nearly broke me, until I found proof and took back control. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed in Cleveland, Ohio, at 2:14 a.m., my laptop's dim glow staining my face. My name is Alex Carter, I'm 26, and I've never felt more frozen. I'm scrolling through old emails, hunting for a misplaced receipt when I stop cold. Subject line: I can't wait to watch you burn. My palms go slick and a scream lodges in my throat. Jordan Fox. I stare at the sender. Jordan, who used to be my closest friend, who once helped me move into this apartment and stayed to help assemble my IKEA furniture. Jordan, who congratulated me on my promotion last month and sent me that cheesy "proud of you" gif. I click it open, heart thudding against my ribs. The message is short, no signature, no emoji, no explanation, just that one sentence. I know without a doubt that Jordan's at the other end. I reel back, hand shaking. How did I miss this coming? I replay our last group chat. Jordan sent a thumbs-up reaction to my vacation photos, said they were amazing, but I remember noticing the slight pause before they typed. Or was I just imagining tension? I open our old DMs, jokes about late-night taco runs, good luck notes during my breakups, Jordan's birthday wishes. I scroll slowly until I see a comment last week. Hope your work presentation goes well. Would hate for anything horrible to happen. I'd laughed it off at the time, thinking Jordan's computer autocorrect had mangled hope. Now it pulses on my screen like a warning siren. Anxiety washes over me. My breath comes shallow. I read it again. I can't wait to watch you burn. No sign of a prank, no context. I press my palm to my chest, feeling each rapid beat. In my mind, every past interaction flickers with doubt. The time Jordan accidentally spilled coffee on my notes, that stray comment at my birthday party about wishing they had my connections. I shove the memory away, nausea rising. My phone buzzes, another message from Jordan on an old group thread. Hey, did you get my email? I don't know what to say. If I reply, I'll look paranoid. If I don't, Jordan will know I saw it. I grip the edge of my desk, knuckles white. Outside, the city is quiet. The streetlights cast long shadows across my window. I can't sleep. I can't think beyond the image of Jordan's name attached to a threat like that. A tide of anger and dread crashes inside me, curdling my stomach. I close my eyes and try to remember if I left any clues. Shared late-night drinks. That one time I vented about my new boss to Jordan. Did I say something that set them off? Or was the warning always there, hidden beneath friendly texts? My phone slips from my hand and clatters on the floor. I realize in the hush of the apartment that Jordan has already started their attack, and it's far from over. My chest tightens as adrenaline spikes. What do I do next? I lie awake, replaying the night I met Jordan at that cramped campus bar in Columbus, Ohio, freshman year. Back then, I was 19, convinced I had the world ahead of me. Jordan was there, leaning against the sticky counter, laughing like they owned the place. They introduced themselves as if we were already friends, as if we'd share secrets my roommates would never know. Bonded over late-night pizza runs between classes, cramming for econ exams until dawn. I remember how Jordan cheered when I landed the internship at that marketing firm, texting me, "You're a rock star, Alex. Don't forget us when you're famous." I felt proud and I believed them. At 21, when I got my first raise, Jordan sent me a coffee mug that read #1boss and said, "Now I really have to live up to your expectations." I smiled, thinking it was genuine encouragement. But now, 26, living alone in Cleveland, I scroll through old photos on my phone. There's a shot from my 21st birthday. Jordan stands closest to me, arm around my shoulders, eyes shining. I thought they were happy for me, but tonight I see something darker, a flash of envy as I unwrap a gift from my parents. Maybe it was just the dim porch light, but I swear that smile doesn't reach their eyes. I recall Jordan at my graduation, smiling as I walked across the stage, then hugging me tight. I felt safe, like they'd always have my back. And I remember the comment they made later that afternoon. I wish I could be that proud of myself. I laughed it off, telling myself they were just being humble. But in hindsight, I can feel the sting of something unspoken, an undercurrent of wanting what I had. That trip to Chicago for my first big promotion, Jordan flew in, cheeks flushed as they toasted me at a rooftop bar. They said, "You deserve this, but it's bittersweet watching you succeed." I assumed bittersweet meant they were proud. Now, I wonder if it meant they resented me. My hands tremble as I flip back to the present. I'm hunched over my laptop in my dark apartment, heart pounding. Each time I thought they were celebrating me, maybe they were cataloging my wins to fuel their own resentment. Every laugh, every "I got you" might have been a setup. I sift through more messages. Jordan's text last month, "Congrats on the raise. Hope nothing disrupts you," followed by that vague pause before they added, "Of course, all things happen for a reason." I'd shrugged it off as cryptic humor. Now it feels like a warning. A photo from my last birthday party floats onto the screen. I'm cutting the cake, guests cheering, and Jordan stands closest, hand on my shoulder, head tilted as if whispering. But their eyes aren't celebratory. There's a glint, something unreadable. I zoom in. A chill runs through me. The camaraderie I believed was real now feels like a mask. That memory of Jordan proud of me, I can't trust it. Because all along, I didn't see the envy beneath. My chest tightens with confusion and dread. If those small jabs were signs of growing hostility, what else did I miss? And how long before Jordan moves on to the next act of sabotage? I never thought my life could start unraveling in such small, almost laughable ways, until everything began to fall apart, one minor disaster at a time. It started at work one Tuesday morning. I leaned over my desk, reviewing slides for a presentation I'd spent days perfecting, and my laptop froze. By the time I rebooted, the file was gone, vanished into thin air. My pulse spiked. I rifled through every folder, every backup, nothing. I felt a sinking dread in my stomach like the floor had dropped away. Jordan was there, sipping coffee in the break room, looking at me with that same polite smile. "You look stressed," they said, handing me a fresh mug. "Need any help?" I nodded numbly, even though the help felt like a knife at my back. Later, in the conference room, I stumbled through a hastily reassembled deck. Aces in the room exchanged glances. Colleagues murmured that this was so unlike me. I downplayed it as a technical glitch, but they all had sympathetic looks for Jordan, who stood nearby offering reassurance. 2 nights later, I locked up my apartment and headed to my car. The spot was free, streetlights casting puddles in the gutter. When I slid my key into the lock, nothing happened. The key wouldn't turn. My heart thudded as I jiggled it, whispering, "Come on, come on." Finally, with a loud snap, the lock clicked free. But when I opened the door, I smelled something gasoline. My hand trembled. I leaned down and saw a thin metal wire looped snugly around my key, wedged beneath the car's undercarriage. A stupid trick, but enough to scratch the paint and nearly jam the ignition. I ripped the wire away, hands shaking, imagining how easily it could have caused an accident. Jordan's car had been parked 2 spots over that very evening, engine idling as I walked out. I said nothing, just stared until they drove off. The final blow came at the office a week later. I arrived with fresh confidence, new suit, polished shoes, only to overhear hushed whispers in the lobby. "Did you hear? Apparently Alex took credit for the Harley account. They always had help getting leads from another department." A knot twisted in my chest. I'd never touched that account. I pressed past the gossipers, heart pounding, and met Jordan by the water cooler. He was chatting casually with everyone. "Hey, Alex," they said with a sympathetic tilt of their head. "You must be stressed about that rumor. How can we clear it up?" My throat closed. I forced a smile, walked away, but the rumor spread like wildfire. That night, I sank onto my couch and replayed every interaction. Jordan had been helpfully by my side at the worst moments, offering to proofread slides, asking to carpool, chatting with coworkers. Each disaster felt random until patterns emerged. Jordan was always there, always ready to step in, always wearing that cloak of concern. My chest burned with suspicion, but I had no proof, no email, no witness. Confront Jordan without evidence and I'd look unhinged. Let it go and I'd be at their mercy next time. I sat in the dark, the hum of city traffic outside my window. Anxiety convulsed my mind like a storm. I realized then that these incidents weren't accidents. They were calculated strikes, small arrows aimed to weaken me. And if I didn't find solid proof fast, Jordan would keep pushing until I broke. I closed my eyes, breath coming in ragged gasps. There was only one thing I was sure of. This was far from over. Proof wouldn't come easy, and Jordan was already planning their next move. I found myself standing in the hallway, outside Jordan's cubicle. Heart hammering so loud, I was sure everyone could hear it. "Jordan," I began, voice shaking, "did you tell people I took credit for the Harley account?" Jordan looked up, eyebrows knitting together in genuine concern. "What? No, Alex, I would never do that. Are you okay?" Their voice was calm, soft like a salve, yet it felt like salt in a fresh wound. I swallowed, breathing unevenly. "I heard it in the lobby. People were saying you mentioned I was lying about that account." Jordan's expression flickered, confusion, hurt, and worry. "I would never say that. You know how I feel about you, like a sibling. I was actually defending you when I heard that rumor." I tried to steady myself. "But everyone saw you talking with Marisol and Jeff. They said you implied I stole the account." They shook their head, shoulders slumping. "Alex, I didn't imply anything. I don't know where you got that. Honestly, it sounds like you're overworked. Are you sleeping? You've been off lately." I felt heat rise in my cheeks. "I'm fine," I snapped, surprise and shame mingling. I clenched my fists at my sides. "I just want to know why people think I lied." Jordan gave me a look so sympathetic it made my stomach twist. "You're imagining things. Look here, check my texts with Marisol." They pulled out their phones, scrolling. "See, I asked her to drop it because I knew you weren't involved." I leaned in, scanning the screen. The messages were gone, only our most recent banter remained. I looked up, confusion and panic rising. "Isn't there anything about the Harley account?" Jordan tapped their finger on the screen. "I never texted about it. You probably deleted it yourself." My mind raced. I could almost hear whispers drifting through the air. "Alex must be really stressed. Hope they are okay. Maybe they are losing it." A wave of guilt washed over me. Was I misremembering everything? I stumbled back, voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know what's real anymore." Jordan stepped closer, placing a hand on my shoulder. Hey, look at me. You know I care about you. Maybe you need a break. Take a week off, get some sleep. I'll cover for you with the team. They sounded so sincere they're not formed in my chest. I opened my mouth to argue, but the words died. What if I was the problem? What if I had imagined all those threats, the car key, the missing slides? I took a shaky breath. Maybe, you're right. Jordan gave a small, relieved smile, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear as if soothing me. Trust me, they said, voice gentle. You'll thank me later. I nodded, but the second I turned away, doubt roared louder than any whisper of reassurance. As I walked back to my desk, every colleague's glance felt like a judgment. Was I spiraling, or was Jordan rewriting reality again? My reflection in the glass partition blurred, and I realized I had no anchor, no proof, no certainty. Just a gnawing terror that maybe I was the one losing my mind. And if Jordan wanted me believing that, there was nothing stopping them. I couldn't sleep again, haunted by Jordan's smirk and the doubts swirling in my mind. That morning I stood at my desk, head throbbing, when Maya dropped by unannounced. You look like hell, she said, concern softening her voice. I forced a smile. Just tired. She didn't buy it. A week ago, Maya noticed I was jumpy, asking questions about my car key incident. I'd brushed it off as a random vandalism. But today, she held a small USB stick between her fingers. I got something, she said. My heart pounded. What do you mean? Maya's eyes flickered toward my cubicle walls as if afraid someone was listening. I went to your apartment complex's security office. You didn't tell me, but I know they had footage the night your key was tampered with. She paused, biting her lip. At first, they hesitated, but I reminded them you live here. They gave me this. She slid the stick across the desk. Shaking, I plugged it into my laptop. Maya hovered over my shoulder as I clicked the video file. Grainy footage showed the parking garage at 11:47 p.m. My car sat alone under a flickering light until a dark sedan pulled in. The door opened and a figure in a hoodie stepped out. My breath caught as they moved behind my car and crouched, unseen by the dim camera. Then the hooded figure stood, turned slightly, and the camera brightened just enough. Jordan's face came into focus for a heartbeat. Maya stifled a gasp. Jordan. I leaned closer, eyes stinging. Jordan reached down, pressed something against my tire, and slipped away into the shadows. My hands trembled so hard I nearly knocked the laptop over. They did it, I whispered, voice raw. They actually did it. Maya put a comforting arm around my shoulders. I'm so sorry, Alex. Her voice trembled like mine. I didn't want to believe it, but it's them. Anger flared in my chest, hot and bright. All the doubt, all the second-guessing, crashed down, gone in an instant, replaced by a fierce certainty. Jordan wasn't just causing rumors, they were actively trying to ruin me. I closed the laptop, heart hammering. This is it, I said, voice low. They're not hiding anymore. Maya nodded, lips pressed tight. We need to show HR and the police this is evidence. I clenched the edge of my desk. The weight of betrayal settled in my bones. Jordan's vendetta wasn't about petty lies anymore, it was about destruction. And now I had proof. But as relief washed through me, another fear bubbled up. What if this was only the beginning? Jordan knew I had the video now. They knew I was onto them. If they could sabotage my car, spread rumors, delete messages, what would stop them next? Maya must have read my mind. She squeezed my shoulder. We'll stay one step ahead, she said. I looked into her determined eyes, trying to draw strength from her resolve. But deep down, I felt exposed, vulnerable, as if Jordan's reach extended further than I could see. At night, as I left the office with Maya by my side, I couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were watching us from every shadow. Jordan's face haunted me, and I realized this struggle was far from over. Their vendetta was personal, and now, knowing they were capable of violence, I feared what my next move might ignite. I could feel my pulse in my throat as I stood on Jordan's doorstep, clutching a folder of screenshots and the USB drive like a lifeline. The hallway smelled of stale pizza and cheap carpet. I took a shaky breath and knocked. The door swung open before I even finished tapping. Jordan's face was a mask of surprise, eyebrows raised, mouth slightly open. Alex, what are you doing here? They asked, voice casual, too casual. I shoved past them into the dim apartment. Don't act like you don't know, I said, voice low but steady. Inside, the living room was a clutter of empty takeout boxes and half-drunk beers. Evidence of parties I wasn't invited to. Jordan's expression shifted to annoyance. Confrontations at my door, really, you should have called. They leaned against the wall, arms crossed. What brings you here? Did you forget your key again? I dropped the folder on the coffee table, papers ruffling. I have every piece of evidence you threw at me, Jordan. Screenshots of your texts, the security footage, timestamps, everything. I want answers. Jordan's eyes flicked to the folder, panic rising for the first time. They turned away, pacing. I don't know what you're talking about, they said, tone defensive. I've never sabotaged you. I pulled out my phone and showed them a screenshot of text where Jordan casually asked a coworker if they heard about my theft of the Harley account. Explain this, I demanded. Why tell them I stole and this? I inserted the USB stick, plugged in the footage, and played the clip. On the screen, in grainy black and white, Jordan slid something under my car. Jordan's face went pale. He stepped back, but their eyes were furious. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. Their voice cracked, but the hostility was there. Not mean for me to get hurt, I repeated, heart pounding. You put my life at risk, Jordan. You destroyed my reputation. You lied to everyone I trusted. They sank onto the couch, head in their hands. The room felt charged, like a storm about to break. I was always behind you, Alex. I always wanted you to succeed because I needed you to need me. They looked up, tear in their eye mingling with anger. I wanted to be the one you counted on, but with every promotion, every new friend, you drifted. I felt left behind. My chest tightened as they stood, stepping closer. So you decided to ruin me instead? Jordan's face twisted. You had everything I couldn't. You were the golden child, perfect grades, perfect job, perfect life. I tried to keep up, Alex. I really did. But one comment, one stupid thought, that I deserved more and I couldn't stop. I felt bile rise in my throat. Rage, sorrow, relief mixed into a bitter cocktail. I slammed a hand on the table. Why the threats? Why the rumors? Why almost crippling my car? Their eyes went distant, voice hollow. Because I wanted you to feel what I felt, powerless. I wanted you to come crawling back. They let out a harsh laugh. Funny, isn't it? How loyalty can turn to venom when jealousy rots the heart. My hands trembled, tears stinging my eyes. You could have just told me you were hurting. Jordan's laugh cut me off. You wouldn't have understood, you never will. Before I could respond, the apartment plunged into silence so heavy it felt suffocating. Jordan took a step toward me, and suddenly the air crackled between us. I realized this confrontation wasn't the end, it was a tipping point. They opened their mouth, and I braced for the next blow. I waked to a dozen unread texts, the screens glow like a verdict. Yesterday's confrontation with Jordan spread through our circle faster than wildfire. My heart hammers as I scroll. Some friends are horrified. I can't believe what Jordan did. I'm here for you, Alex, while others question me. Are you sure you're not exaggerating? You two were so tight, what happened? The office feels like a minefield today. I step into the elevator and Marisol avoids eye contact. Jeff gives a curt nod and glances at my badge as though deciding whether to trust it. I sit at my desk, hands clammy, and notice HR's door is open, a nameplate shining like a spotlight. Dana Reynolds, HR Director. I clenched my teeth. I'm here because of Jordan's vendetta, not a mistake I made, but everyone whispers otherwise. As the morning drags, I field wary stares while HR interviews me behind closed doors. I lay out the timeline, emails, photographs, security footage, and they take notes like I'm confessing a crime. Outside, I overhear colleagues whispering. Drama queen, they must be stressed. Rage and shame press against my ribs. By lunch, Meyer appears like a lifeline, coffee in hand, eyes soft with concern. We sit in the break room, I twist the scarf around my neck. They believe me. I whisper, voice brittle. Maya shakes her head. Half of them do, the other half have eyes, ears, and hearing aids, but they'd rather deny the truth. I swallow, bitterness pooling. All this because of Jordan's lies. She reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. You did the right thing, let HR do its job, you're not alone. I manage a shaky smile, but when I return to my desk, someone has scrawled on a sticky note. Watch your back, Alex. My breath catches. HR finally calls me back, and I hand over copies of evidence. Dana's eyes are sympathetic, but I can't read her thoughts. She assures me the investigation is serious. Yet I know rumors have more velocity than truth. At evening, I collapse onto my couch, replaying Jordan's confession. I wanted you to feel what I felt, powerless. I curl into a ball, adrenaline finally ebbing into exhaustion. Sleep is elusive. My mind replays every whisper, every glance. I know I'll never see Jordan the same way, or anyone, really. Trust feels like a brittle toy that's shattered. Weeks pass in a blur. HR interviews coworkers, I submit more evidence. A corporate notice goes out about responding to workplace harassment. Jordan is suspended pending investigation. Some friends slip away, afraid to choose sides. Others rally close, offering groceries, hugs, late-night phone calls. Maya reminds me to schedule therapy. You need to unpack this, she says. I nod, though the thought of talking feels foreign. In session, I sit on a stiff couch as the therapist asks, "How are you feeling?" I stare at the floor, words tangled in my throat. I glance at Maya's supportive text on my phone. You've got this. And take a deep breath. Feel broken, I whisper. Outside the office, the sun sets early, and the hush of evening mirrors my uncertainty. I close my eyes, images of Jordan's betrayal and my colleague's doubt flickering behind my lids. I'm not the same person I was 8 weeks ago. Trust, once given freely, now feels earned like precious currency. Yet as I rise to leave therapy, a spark ignites, a stubborn ember of resolve. I survived Jordan's tempest, and with Maya's support, I'll rebuild. But as I step into the cooling dusk, I can't shake the question. When the storm feels over, who else is waiting in the shadows? I clear my throat, fingers trembling just slightly as I grip the edge of the folding chair. The circle of strangers around me waits, some nodding, some silent, all with eyes that say, I've been there. My name's Alex. I begin, voice steadier than I expect. I'm 31 from Portland, Oregon, and I didn't think I'd ever be the kind of person to need a support group. A few people smile faintly, but then someone I trusted, someone I loved like family. I pause, willing the lump in my throat to stay down, decided I was worth destroying. The words land hard, but they're true, and saying them out loud feels like slicing through a rope that's been strangling me for months. I tell them just enough. The cryptic email. the quiet sabotage, the look in Jordan's eyes when it all came crashing down. I leave out names, companies, exact details. No one needs the specifics to understand. I see it in their eyes, the recognition, the grief, the fury. After the meeting, a woman with silver streaks in her hair pulls me aside. "Thank you," she says simply. It's brave to speak it out loud. I nod, surprised at how much lighter I feel, not healed, but lighter. That night, I go home and open Reddit. For hours, I type. I don't hold back. I title the post, "I thought I was paranoid. Turns out, my best friend wanted to ruin me." I keep it raw, no dramatics, just the truth, moment by moment, the kind of slow, creeping betrayal that doesn't come with a knife but still leaves scars. I hit post and close my laptop, heart pounding. By morning, my inbox is flooded. This hit too close. I didn't think anyone else went through this. Thank you for writing this. The replies come like a tide, people pouring their stories into the comments. Patterns emerge, envy disguised as affection, sabotage behind smiles, friends who turn like seasons. I read them all. I reply when I can, and for the first time in months, I don't feel insane. Maya reads the post and calls me. "You lit a fire," she says. "People needed to hear this." I think I needed to hear it too, I admit. Therapy continues. Trust still comes slow. I eye every new friendship with hesitation now, but not with fear, more like awareness. Like I know the cost of silence. Nights I still replay it all. The party photos, the clipped car key, Jordan's voice saying, "Because you had everything I couldn't." But the difference now is that I don't let it consume me. I let it remind me that even shadows need light to exist. And I found mine again, bit by bit, word by word. But even now, as I click through a fresh wave of messages, one reply sticks in my mind. "Are you sure it's really over?"